Imagine waking up every day unsure if you'll have enough water to drink, to cook or to grow your food. This is the harsh reality for nearly 1/3 of Central Asia's population. The water issues have become increasingly acute for the entire region. Welcome to today's episode, where we delve into one of the most pressing issues facing Central Asia: water. The 5 countries of the region, Kazakhstan, the Kyrgyz Republic, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan, share vital water resources, but their geographical positions as upstream and downstream countries create complex challenges in water management. Central Asia's water resources come mainly from 2 major river systems, the Amu Darya and the Sir Darya. These rivers are crucial for agriculture, industry and daily needs, supporting millions across multiple countries. The Amu Darya, originating in the Pamir Mountains, flows through Tajikistan, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan before draining into the remnants of the Aral Sea. It is the largest river in Central Asia and is vital for irrigation, especially in Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. The Sir Darya, originating in the Tian Shan Mountains, flows through Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan and Kazakhstan. It is essential for irrigating the fertile Fergana Valley and sustaining agricultural activities in Uzbekistan and southern Kazakhstan. Both rivers face excessive water withdrawal and inefficient irrigation practices, exacerbating water scarcity in downstream areas. There are several reasons for water-related crises in the region, and one of them is climate change.
Climate change is high on the agenda not only in our country but globally. Its impact has intensified in recent years. The territory of Kazakhstan is vast, hence there are several continental divisions. In the northern regions, we have plains, where spring floods are mainly formed. This year there was very serious damage from floods. In the southern regions, on the contrary, we have a water deficit because of intensive water consumption. As a whole, we have about 100 cubic kilometers of water resources in the country, of which about 50% are formed at the expense of local runoff and 50% at the expense of transboundary runoff.
Mountain glaciers and snowfields in the Pamir and Tian Shan Mountains are key freshwater sources, feeding major rivers during the melt seasons. Climate change is causing these glaciers to retreat, reducing meltwater flow and increasing downstream communities' vulnerability to shortages. Right now, melting glaciers are helping to offset the deficit in river flow. But there's a catch. By 2030-2050, when the runoff reaches its peak, this temporary relief will vanish, leading to a significant decline in water availability. Globally, 1 out of every 4 people on Earth live in areas where glaciers and seasonal snowmelt supply their water.
At the same time, climate change affects glaciers, which play a certain role in the formation of runoff. For example, as of 2018, about 45 cubic meters of water were formed by glaciers. They are also intensively melting. According to the forecasts of the Institute of Geography, up to 2030, we will have a possible increase in local runoff due to the intensive melting of glaciers. That said, this runoff will decrease as the formation of these glaciers each year will be unsustainable. It will not keep up due to the climate change.
The recent UN water report indicates global warming is having a more severe impact on our planet's water cycle. We can expect more frequent and intense droughts and floods, with extreme weather patterns becoming the new normal. This means more very wet and very dry seasons, leading to unpredictable and often devastating conditions. The recent floods in Kazakhstan were a stark reminder of the volatility of water resources. They caused significant damage to infrastructure and livelihoods in nearly 10 regions of the country.
What happened is unusual patterns in terms of snowmelt, temperature rise, in combination with frozen soil. So these patterns caused somehow more runoff than usual. And the snow, usually you have some snow which can infiltrate, you have snow which will melt slowly, and then you have time for evaporation. This time this was not the case because it was just an unusual pattern of temperature. You had a snow layer, it was frozen, no chance to infiltrate into the soil. Then, at the same time, a little bit later, temperature rise was heavily going upwards, and that caused snow melt within a very short time. And if you have this, you have no chance that snow gets to other directions, evaporation or infiltration. They all came into runoff. And that was, you can say, an overlap of unfavorable hydrological conditions.
Experts note, by 2040, Kazakhstan may face water shortfalls amounting to 50% of its needs. With almost all economic sectors dependent on water, this shortage could lead to a 6% decrease in GDP by 2050. Outdated infrastructure and poor water management result in significant water losses. In many areas, nearly half the water withdrawn for irrigation never reaches the crops due to leaks.
I cannot say that Kazakhstan is the only country struggling with an update of the infrastructure. I come from Germany. We had in 2021 a flood which saw 150 fatalities. That was an exception. And we never expected to have such kind of an event in Germany, of an incident in Germany. Now we had it, and now we are really reviewing our design principles, the way we look at things in terms of dams, levees, and the same will happen here.
Growing populations and expanding cities put more pressure on already strained water resources. More people need more water for daily life, agriculture, and industry. The World Bank estimates that the Central Asia population will grow to 110 million by 2050. With the right mix of policy changes and institutional reforms combined with the fact of regional cooperation, Central Asia has a real chance to improve water security and sustain strong economic growth. It is a challenging path, but the potential rewards are immense. The Kazakh government is stepping up to tackle water issues head-on. It introduced a new water code, a comprehensive policy overhaul aimed at better water management. Right now, this crucial document is in the Kazakh parliament and is expected to be adopted by the end of this year.
Our ministry, the whole government, and the president are paying significant attention to the issue of water security and sustainable development in the water sector. The most important document for us is the Water Code, which has been revised, including in terms of global climate change. It also provides for separate blocks in our water code in connection with the need to adapt to climate change and glacier conservation, and in general, the issue should be addressed comprehensively. In addition to the water code, we have also developed the draft concept for the development of water management systems for 2024-2030. It was adopted in February this year and has a number of comprehensive approaches in terms of modernization of the water management system, rational use, improvement of institutional and personnel support, as well as transboundary cooperation.
Agriculture is the sector of Kazakhstan's economy that consumes the most water. In fact, 60% of the total water accumulated in Kazakhstan is used for agricultural needs, amounting to over 40 tons per day. But nearly half of it doesn't reach the fields. Modernizing irrigation systems and promoting water-efficient technologies is imperative. To address this, one of the measures introduced by Kazakhstan this year was a 30% increase in subsidies for farmers for the implementation of water-saving technologies. This means the subsidy rate has jumped from 50% to 80%.
To promote the rational use of water, efforts are being made in the fields to encourage farmers to adopt water-saving technologies. This also has a positive effect on conserving water resources. According to research conducted by the Kazakh Scientific Research Institute of Water Economy, if these water-saving technologies cover at least 50% of the irrigated lands in Kazakhstan, we can save approximately 2.4 cubic kilometers of water. Currently, irrigation accounts for about 60% of Kazakhstan's total water usage. This 60% translates to roughly 14 cubic kilometers of water across the country. The majority of this water is used in the southern regions.
In recent years, the water issues have gained the upper hand in discussions among Central Asian leaders, including during their regular consultative meetings. Regional cooperation is key to solving Central Asia's water crisis, as countries depend on each other.
The watershed doesn't stop at the border, so you need to to be involved, you need to involve all the other countries upstream. So that's clear. And the communication process is already there, but it must be intensified. And intensified in the terms of that they do some activities together. The first thing is data exchange and information exchange. Then it's also about, we need to identify something which gives you a win-win situation, so that everyone feels, I do something which is good for my country, but it will leverage the benefit for all to a higher level when we do it together. Collaboration between the countries is a must. I've been working in the Nile, in the Mekong River, in the Caucasus, where you all have these transboundary water problems. It is not easy, I can say that. It takes time, and the most important thing is trust. Develop trust. Trust is an essential prerequisite to make things happen in transboundary water issues.
Water is treated and priced like there will always be enough of it. But the kicker here is to understand how valuable the water is before it isn't enough for all of us. Addressing problems with water, which we all need to survive, can be exceptionally hard, but it can also lead to some exceptional ways to solve them. There are many actions that people can take, and change starts with each of us. Simple actions like reducing water waste, supporting sustainable practices, as well as staying informed about local water issues can make significant difference. Thank you for joining us tonight in this exploration of water issues in Central Asia. Stay tuned for more updates from the Astana Times. Until next time.